the harsh hypothetical world of things that could happen had Game Freak made different decisions than what we actually had in the Pokemon games, in a realm with timelines in which a pseudo-legendary is worse than a freaking Geodude. The world of hypothesis in alternative universes needed a hypothetical hero, a theoretical figure that would rise from nothing and prove that in an imagined world, all would be possible with bravery and determination. Enter Imagine Dragonite. This dragon, who's a Gen 1 pseudo-legendary, watched from the sideline as its Gen 2 counterpart was smashed during the better part of the game. But can Dragonite be the hypothetical hero people actually want? Can a Dratini starter prove to be as OP as people would expect a pseudo-legendary to actually be? Let's find out. Using our knowledge of the Matrix, or PK Hex if you prefer, we have delved into the parallel universe where Dratini is a Johto starter, with the starting moveset of Rap and Leer. This warrior will face its first hurdle, Falkner. Now, given how pathetically weak Rap is, even Pidgey is too strong for the dragon thanks to its much stronger stab tackles, an incredibly bad start for our beloved friend. But Dratini wanted to believe that a hero's journey always starts with him being the underdog. Thus, Dratini moves on, learning its first stab move in Twister and headed towards Bugsy. With Twister, Dratini can easily dispose of the two cocoons, but Scyther is, unfortunately, too much for it with its incomparably better stats. This time around, Dratini's performance is definitely better than the one with Falkner, but still not enough. Dratini plans, however, to capitalize on his momentum to do even better on Whitney, and it sure can deal with Clefairy, but in comes the Miltank, and same old song and dance. The stat lines are too far apart for it to be able to do anything. Such an outcome left Dratini bitter, even furious, left to wallow in its draconic rage until it got out of control once Dratini reached level 22. This move at this point in the game is powerful. If Dratini had it for Whitney, it would have swept with ease, and with it, Dratini can head straight into Morty, and even the ghost types not being enough to scare it. Dratini can, with some luck and dodging Hypnosis, 2-hit KO the Gengar with Dragon Rage, a massive feat for an unevolved Pokemon with such low stats for this point in the game. But in a world where all Dratini has on Morty's Pokemon are 2-hit KOs, it will get worn down by Curse, Lick Paralysis, and can only get 1 or 2 kills most of the time. Next up is Chuck, where Dratini gets to up his game even further by evolving into Dragonair. Dragonair easily 2-shots Primeape with Dragon Rage, but once the mighty Poliwrath gets in, it's kind of in trouble. Now, if it gets a bit lucky with Dynamic Punch and Hypnosis RNG, it can definitely get the kill, but things can definitely go both ways in the battle. Where things do not go both ways, however, is the Price Gym, where our hero will be once again thwarted similar to how he was in Falkner's gym. It could beat the Seal, but the evolved Pokemon on Price's team will prove to be too much. Dragonair will, however, get his revenge on Jasmine, the Steel-type leader, thanks to its electric resistance and Surf. It can sweep through the Steel Gym despite not being of a type that is predisposed to beat Steel. Maybe that was the momentum Dragonair was desperate for. Dragonair had only one way to find out. With a massive confidence, it heads off to beat the hardest challenge so far, Claire's Gym, where literally 3 copies of itself are awaiting. If equipped with TM Blizzard, Dragonair can potentially sweep through all of Claire's Dragonairs, if RNG does favor it enough. And not only is it not consistent at doing what it does, with the odds of hitting 3 Blizzards in a row being of around 34% only, it also completely fails once Kingdra comes out. This time around, Dragonair has been thwarted several times, but Kingdra is different. Kingdra is a fellow dragon, an example of what Dragonair wanted to be but never was. Kingdra is great because he's rooted in reality. It always delivers results consistently. Dragonair is more of an erratic dragon, with a lot of potential, but not consistent enough to have great performances in the real world, and it shows in the Elite Four as well. The best moves on a Dragonair being Fire Blast, Blizzard, Thunder, and Surf, most of which are RNG dependent. If Dragonair gets good RNG, it sweeps all Will's team except for Jinx and all of Koga's team except for Mutt, but it could as well miss 2 Thunders or Fire Blasts and die to their moves first. On Bruno, Dragonair drowns Onix with Surf and can beat both Chon and Top, but Hitmonlee's moves are too strong, let alone Machomp's Cross Chop. A similar story happens on Karen. Dragonair has no way to beat Umbreon, Houndoom out-damages it, and it has good odds against Gengar, Plume, and Murkrow if RNG blesses it. Against Lance, Dragonair has a potential one-hit KO on Gyarados and Dragonite and can 1v1 either Zard or Arrow, but probably not both at once. On a good day, you can get 4 kills with it, but that may as well become 0 if any of your targets dodges your imperfectly accurate moves. And if you were wondering about why we did not teach Dragon Breath to this Pokemon as its stab, we remind you that the move is only 60 base power. If we account for the 1.5 stab multiplier, that becomes 90, the same as Surf, which has a lot more utility in terms of type coverage. Thus, Dragon Breath is actually not a good move at all. Overall, Dragonair functions like a weird stabless water type, if that water type had more coverage but less stats. And though it's not as good as a Gyarados or Lapras, it definitely is not the worst thing to bring. Dragonair spent time pondering on its performance so far. There was a way to be even better than Kingdra. There had to be one. Dragonair would then go back to its home region of Kanto and try to figure this out. After much pondering and introspection, he decided to bank everything onto taking any and all challenges he could find in the vast region of Kanto, learning from all outcomes. Whether those be losing horribly to Sabrina due to lack of stats, being thwarted to Misty's ice moves, getting a few kills on Surge but never sweeping even with great RNG, or sweeping entire gyms like Brock, Erica, Janine, and Blaine, Dragonair would not be fazed by his defeats, and not too flattered by his victories. He would just learn and learn and learn until right before Blaine's Fire Gym, all would come together, and with flying colors, Dragonair would reach its full potential, its final and ultimate form. Now, how good is Dragonite, you may ask? Well, just look at this blue fight. Very few Mons, not Zapdos, not Suicune, not even Kingdra could even do what Dragonite does here. And while it cannot do quite the similar feat against the red fight, it definitely can beat half of his team in Pikachu, Charizard, and Venusaur, while Blastoise is out of his reach outside of dodging its blizzards. Snorlax is simply too powerful, and Espeon can be decently brawled with. Let Dragonite's story be a lesson to all of us. Even the biggest potential can have the roughest starts. Even the stories most packed with struggles, randomness, and doubt can culminate in the greatest outcomes of them all. And most importantly, Dragon Pokemon are awesome, and no one should let you believe otherwise. Overall, the Dratini line has its ups and downs. It's not the most flawless Pokemon to use, all things considered, but it's definitely better than Larvitar, and makes for a great story to boot. So, how did you like Gen 2 Dratini? Does the dragon's awesomeness appeal to you, or would you prefer using more real stuff like Red Gyarados? Feel free to tell us in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. On that note, have a great one.